Episode of Grow Talks, Season 2, Episode 11 with Joe's Grows. Um, Joining us tonight will be Scott Taylor and Blair Smith, um, partners of ours in an event that we are putting together this fall. Super excited about this event. We will cover some details a little bit later in the episode. Um, as well, Scott and Blair will be joining us in a few minutes. I would like to introduce to everybody here Joe from Joe's Grows. Um, awesome dude. I've been talking to this guy for a while. We've been trying to connect, and busy schedules have led to a delay in him getting on Minnesota Grow Talks. But nonetheless, here we are tonight, dude. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to all the viewers, all of the followers, all the sponsors. Uh, Much love. We appreciate all of you. I can't say enough about it. This journey is it's been an interesting one, and it seems like we are on a uphill roar, I guess, at the moment. Yeah. So I'm gonna hand it over to Joe's Grows, and he'll introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his journey.
What's up, Minnesota Grow Talks? Joe here. I am a YouTube creator. I started YouTube creating about a year ago. Actually, Monday was our first anniversary celebration. So I started that back on September 16th of 2023. I've met a lot of cool people along the way, a lot of people I could grow with. I did start out a few years back just growing in the basement. I come from a long line of growers. My mom's dad, my grandpa, he was a grower. My uncle, I call him my skunkle, he was a grower. And so, yeah, I picked it up once I knew my uncle was getting sick, and I just thought this would be something that, that I would keep in the family and just keep driving it and just running with it. And just
Absolutely.
when I set out to do something, I like to be the best, right? Obviously, there's going to be people that are better than me, but I always like to set my standards and my goals high, right? No pun intended.
Amen,
So
dude.
with that being said, I've just tried to just drive this and learn from so many different experiences throughout every growth cycle I've done. It's been really fun. So first off, before I even jump into it, I just want to give a shout out to Minnesota Grow Talks for even having me on, and all my subscribers that have been following me along my journey. In this 1 year, I've closed over 800 subscribers, and I appreciate
Hell
every
yeah.
single one of them pushing me and motivating me to continue and just drive this home. So I'm sponsored. I have 3 affiliates. I have Elevate Seeds. Shout out to Elevate Seeds. Grow Peaceful. Shout out to those guys. And Bud Trainer. Shout out to those guys. Um,
Hell yeah, dude.
like I said, I've been trying to drive this thing. It's not about the money for me. It's about helping the next guy learn. And I just want to be able to give back to the community, man. Like my channel, I'm basically doing my techniques. There's a lot of stuff as growers that we learn, throughout the years and whatnot. But
Yep.
I'm showing people my techniques. I want them to have a comfortable place to where they can go and they can come and feel like, hey, nobody's going to judge me here. We're going to come in here and I'm going to actually learn something. So, I try to have fun
Absolutely.
with it. I try to have fun with it. I'm a big guy, get out of breath. So I've been doing a lot of voiceover videos, but yeah, man, I actually just chopped one of my plants today. Kongzilla by Elevate Seeds. Absolute
Okay.
monster. She's reeking it up here. I got a little piece of her right here for you guys. Show you a little piece. I don't know if you'll be able to see this decent, but yeah, she's decent. She's got some purple hues.
Nice, dude.
She's a pretty girl. Very stinky, high terpene profile, man. Just absolutely beautiful plant. I like to veg my plants for a really long time and just keep them pushing, because I always heard as a grower, bigger the roots, bigger the fruits. So I like to push my plants and just really just make them go as big as they can. So yeah, man.
Absolutely, dude. And I'm the same exact way. The only thing that I sometimes get leery of is if you uh if you run into like root bound issues, right?
Right.
Always got to be transplanting and putting them in a bigger pot all the time, I guess, right?
So it is funny. I did start out doing a lot of transplanting when I first started, and I just thought, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm putting them in 20-gallon fabric pots, and I'm gonna let them ride. That's their forever home. And I haven't had any issues with it. I mean, of course, you're gonna run into nitrogen deficiencies and different stuff along the way, but you gotta just make sure you keep to a strict schedule. And as long as you take care of your girls, they will take care of you in the end.
Absolutely, dude.
So actually, I appreciate everybody tuning into your guys' show today. It's pretty awesome. I really appreciate you guys inviting me. I actually have my own podcast. It's called From Seed to Smoke. We're still on our first season. We've had a lot of decent people jump on. It's been really cool, man. I've been able to meet so many cool people just like yourself, and just really just ride this wave, man. It's super groovy. I love it.
Absolutely. One of the viewers has a question here. Any specific terps that you prefer over another?
Man, so my terps, I don't know. It's just got to have that flavor, man. Like I'm a big fan of Pineapple Express, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
And back to like AK-47, going old school, but it's got to have just those terps that are just like mouth watering. That, yeah, jaw dropping terps for sure.
Nice, dude. And that's what I love about Minnesota Grow Talks. And like you said, you try to teach people your technique, right?
Yes,
It's
sir.
crazy how every single task in the world that we live in, right? There's 100 different ways to do it, right? Mow the lawn, grow cannabis, barbecue food, right? Run the smoker. There's
That's
a
right.
hundred different ways that people are going to do it, and nobody has a wrong way of doing it. We are all correct in what we do. But yeah, I'd like to hear more about your techniques.
Yeah, man. So, like jumping into it, like if I was going to tell a new grower that's coming on board, I get questions all the time. There's no wrong way of really doing it. Okay, as long as you're taking care of it and you're doing your schedule, like I said, it's super easy. There's all kinds of different techniques, but like what I like to do is get in there. I first pop my bean in the soil. I lightly water because, of course, you don't want to over water because then you're going to end up killing it right away, or you're going to run into fungus gnats. Just issues. So you want to make sure your plant's able to thrive and survive in those conditions. Once that plant gets up to like 5 or 6 nodes, I'm topping it right there. I'm going to top it. I'm going to start with my low stress training, and I'm just going to try to get this grow to bush out as big as possible every single time. And then this last run, I've kind of let them do a natural thing too, where I just top them and just let them go. But I mean, low stress training, you got to think your grow space. What size room do you have? What size tent do you have? How high is the ceiling? So it's really good to know these things going into it, like exactly what you want to do, kind of plan it out in your mind. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so jumping into it, I mean, there's all kinds of different plant foods that you can use. I use organic materials. I like to top feed all my plants. That way it can just kind of go in. And then that way, if I do see like, hey, man, I'm overfeeding this week, then I can go back through and kind of water it down and just kind of flush it that way. But I mean, there's
Yep.
all kinds of different stuff you can do. And I'm guilty too. I've done Synganic at the same time. I like to use Terpinator. I like to use Perpinator, and just mix it up, experiment with it. But as a new grower coming in, just do what works best for you and just learn new things on the way. And make sure you write it down. Always write down and document what you're doing. If you keep a little grow log going, you can always look back and see, hey, this worked perfect for me.
Right, right, right. Um, I may have missed it. Did you say you were growing organically? Is that correct?
Yeah, I grow organic.
Okay, sweet.
And I do touch on the Synganic, but this last run I did, it was strictly organic. I was brewing teas, just trying to do whatever I could do to make these girls thrive. Actually,
Absolutely, dude.
going back to it, so I'm actually downstairs right now. My plants are over here to the side of me. It got to a point where uh, I didn't have a water source, so I was constantly buying gallons and gallons of waters. I'd have buddies coming over joking with me, like, "Dude, you got like 40 gallons of water down here." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I'm guilty. It's a mess right now. I do keep my
Yep.
area clean, but I did get crazy with empty gallons everywhere." So what
Right,
actually
right,
I
right.
did was took a 55-gallon drum. I started collecting rainwater. I took out one of the windows in the basement, put plywood up, I sealed it all up, and now I'm collecting rainwater. I make sure I can pH it, and the plants absolutely love it. They thrive off of it. It's beautiful.
Nice. Joining us is Scott Taylor. Scott, can you back your phone up a little bit, maybe? All I
What's
can
up,
see is
Scott?
basically the top half of your face. Or rotate your phone, maybe. Nonetheless, everybody, this is Scott, one of our family members up north. He's the gentleman that allows us to utilize his land for different events. We hosted Weed Fest up on his property. We're going to be hosting the Haunted Hayride HarvestFest last weekend in October. More details to come, dude. That's going to be an epic event, guys. I can't say enough about it. We're actually working with Magical Dreams Productions, which is a film producer. And they are one of the leading, I guess they're smaller scale, but they do have some award-winning horror films that they have created. So it's going to be super awesome. I can't say enough about it. We will cover some more details a little bit later. Um, Blair is actually going to hop on at some point, and we'll kind of just touch on a couple events. That'll be later on in the episode, though. So anyway, Scott, this is Joe from Joe's Grows. He's joining us tonight on Minnesota Grow Talks. Thanks for joining us, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Scott?
How you doing, Lynette? I can see you. It's so weird. I can see you in the little profile picture just fine, but on the screen, there, that's better. Maybe I'll just have to do that for the time being. Nonetheless, we'll let you carry back on, Joe. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. So if you're new to growing, just drive it home and stick with it. Everybody's going to make mistakes along their way. You can always reach out to people. I'm sure people could reach out to you. They can reach out to me on my channel. And we're not here to judge you. We're here to help. Like we said, I just want to be able to help people and give back to the community. That's why I started doing this. I had my buddy Greg for a long time just writing me, man, Joe, you got to start making YouTube content, because he thought he's like, this stuff is better than dispensary right here, you know? And so I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's some pretty good smoke. I'm really happy with it. My wife seems to absolutely love it since she smokes an ounce a week. But, so yeah,
That's awesome to hear.
It's
dude.
good times, man. Growing has actually saved my life. For a long time, I used to go fishing, and I thought that was my escape, where I wouldn't have to worry about bills. And growing has now changed that for me. So it's really cool, man, to give back and just get to talk with other people and see exactly, you know, what they're doing and what kind of stuff they like to do with their grows. The Purpinator, right. I didn't use Purpinator this run with the Kongzilla. She flipped up purple on her own, showing her natural beauties, and I thought it was perfect that she ended today. So, man, it's just rest in peace, Kongzilla. But we got 4 more outside, so I'm pretty excited about that. About 3 or 4 times the size of the indoor one.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, dude. I actually have an autoflower. I don't typically mess around with autoflowers too much, but I figured for, you know, some of the events that we go to, worst case, we could fucking roll it up in joints and smoke it, right? For free.
Right.
You know, so, but I got a Blueberry. It's super, super purple, dude. That thing should be done in probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, man. And, you know, it's funny, too, because I do like to smoke, but I can't sit there and, I'm not going to be the one to outsmoke you. I take 2-3 hits and I'm good to go for a while. I still have a low tolerance, even as a grower. People laugh at me, make fun of me all the time, but hey, my smoke lasts longer, you know? So, I mean, it does the trick. I get a really bad anxiety if I smoke too much. I feel like my heart's racing. Obviously, I'm out of shape. I'm overweight. I'm a big guy. But at the same time, man, a little goes a long way for me. And yeah, I love it. And then it's cool that you guys are into the disc golf, because that's what we do in the woods, man. You go out there, throw some discs, smoke a couple, and it's always turns out to be a good day.
Dude, I want to get you out to Minnesota, dude. I never even mentioned, dude. So Joe is from Illinois. He's not from Minnesota. He's from Illinois, over in the Chicagoland area.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to that dude. Crushing it over there. And again, thank you for joining us tonight, dude. Can't say enough about the opportunity.
For sure. I'm reading these comments, looking over, and somebody said, Adam Olson, careful with the rainwater because mosquito eggs. I haven't had any troubles with that so far, but I do open that up and just check it around. You know what I mean? Make sure I'm swirling it around, just trying to keep it as clean as possible. So
absolutely, dude.
But that's a great call out. Adam. And
absolutely, anybody should be taking advantage of any free water they can get, right? Because whether you're pumping water out of a well or you're running water out of a city tap, dude, that all costs money, right? So if you can collect rainwater, more power to you. Just kind of make sure, like people are saying, monitor the water. Make sure you're not getting a major algae bloom production or mosquito egg larva or whatever.
Yep, exactly, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I've done all kinds of different techniques starting out. I did try the scrogging method, but my basement's kind of a smaller area. I got the 4x8 and I got the 3x3 set up, and it was just trying to get in there to these plants because I'm letting them get so big. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pass on that. I'll just keep doing the low stress training and just try to get these girls hawked up as best as possible. So I mean, it's been a really fun journey. Like I said, I've been growing years before I started the YouTube. And like I said, my buddy Greg got me into it, and I just started rolling with it. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. I've always been a talker and a people person my whole life, but
Yep.
doing my first actual YouTube video, I was like, this is going to be rough. Like this is gonna be very hard to do. And finally, it just snapped out of me one day. It's like, just be you, and that's what I've been doing, man, with the YouTube. Uh, like I said, I've been gaining a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. We just did a big giveaway. Give a shout out to those guys. We did True Leaf Medicinal donated to it. Rising Phoenix Genetics, those guys donated. Angles Plant Foods, and of course
Oh
Elevate
yeah.
Seeds donated. Man, it was awesome turnout, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And again, dude, happy birthday to your YouTube channel, dude. I think you
I
said
appreciate
yesterday,
that.
right? Was the
Yeah, it
one
was
year anniversary on
Monday,
Monday.
September 16th. Yep.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
Congratulations, bro.
yeah, I keep getting invited. Like with this podcast, I did an episode with Decca. I did an
Yep.
episode with Lift Cliff, and I've been getting
Okay.
invited to come out to Minnesota. Now you're telling me I should come out here. Let's do some disc golf. But it'd be
Dude,
really cool to just set up for an event. I mean, I can't obviously sell my product, but I mean, I got the merchandise. My wife's got the cricket. We can make some stuff and just really maybe just do a giveaway out that way.
yeah, dude, that would be awesome, dude. So we do have Southern Aces run coming up October 4th through the 6th. That one might be a little pressing to make it to, but that's going to be an awesome event, dude. We're going to have anywhere from 15 to 25, maybe even, yeah, probably 25 vendors down there. There's going to be some um, food options, food truck options.
Nice.
Everything goes back to charity with that thing, dude. But and then
That's
coming
awesome.
up the end of October, we're having that Harvest Fest, and maybe that one would be more fitting for you.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
There'd
that'd
be a
be
Grow Cup challenge involved with that, a costume contest, pumpkin carving contest, a haunted
cool.
hayride, dude, s'mores, infused apple cider, hot chocolate, the whole 9 yards, dude.
That's good, man. That's good that you're collaborating with people and reaching back out to the community to show them like, hey, man, cannabis isn't a bad thing. For years and years, they've made it look like you're the bad guy for having it. It's really not. It helps so many people. It gets people back together again. I think as like the United States, we definitely need that. It's like you got the left wing, you got the right thing. I'm not going into politics because that's just not my thing. But really, as a whole, weed was always told you, man, to share that shit and let's all get together. Let's vibe. So what you guys are
Absolutely,
doing is
dude.
absolutely amazing.
Powder for the folks in the back, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, it's medicine, dude. It's community building. I can't say enough about cannabis and the positivity that it brings into the world. It's always been hushed for so many years, and it doesn't make sense to me, but it doesn't need to make sense to everybody, right? But now
Exactly.
we're doing what we're doing, and we're spreading the love. We're trying to change the narrative and get rid of the negative stigma, dude. So.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Shout out to Ryan Shoup, dude. What up, dude? Garden of the North. How you guys doing? It sounds like you guys are all up at a concert. Damn, I'm fucking drawing a blank. You guys are out at the. Fuck. It's up in St. Cloud. Goddamn, I'm fucking drawing a blank, dude. Come on, somebody comment already.
Right.
Anyway,
Sounds
dude, I hope
good.
you guys have a great time up there, dude. Thanks for hopping on. King's Plant Service, what up, dude? Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you're doing well as well, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. So he's at a concert right now. We're going to Teddy Swims on Friday, so that should be
Okay.
pretty decent.
And I think I was talking to you offline. There's a cannabis event going on in
Oh
Illinois?
yeah. So Southern Illinois right now. I think it's tomorrow. Don't quote me, but I think it's tomorrow. The rapper Little White, big fan of his. He's actually going to be there. It's a big event. That way they can show awareness. I want to say it's called Cannabis.
Yeah,
like I said,
I
I'm
think
not
you're
sure.
right, dude.
Okay, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of rappers going to be there. It's too bad I'm going to miss out on it, but I've never personally been to a cannabis event. You know what I mean? Besides, like when I go to a concert, I am the event, you know, because I'm bringing in the smoke. But
Right.
you know what I mean? But at the same time, I think it would be really cool, you know, to get with the community and just do that and just share love all day.
Hell yeah, dude. And that's like, I want to get you out to Minnesota, dude. I can't tell you how uplifting and positive these events are, dude. Whether it's the Doobie Dabbler, the Legacy Cup, Disc and Dogs events, dude, Weed Fest. There's no drama. There's nobody arguing. There's nobody fighting. There's nobody laying in the dirt. It's just a good time, all in all. We just emphasize on giving back to the community and just trying to give back to our community, right? Everybody that comes out to our events, Weed Fest. I think I told you this before, but there was a roughly 150 giveaways up at Weed Fest.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
see I see some comments saying Cypress Hill, Yellow Wolf. Shout out to Yellow Wolf. Tylo G, my boy's on right here. This guy right here, Tylo G. Shout out to him because what he does is he goes around and checks out new YouTubers, and what he does is he's got a grower showcase, and he features people on his YouTube, and that way new growers can meet like the community. It's really great what he's doing.
hell yeah, dude.
I think that whoever commented, Jamie Zier, commented Yellow Wolf. Big fan of Yellow Wolf. I've actually smoked with the Cottonmouth Kings. They were just in town last year, and good times, man.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Joining us is Blair Smith here. He's one of the partners that we're collaborating with on that Haunted Hayride HarvestFest up in
Yes, sir.
Minnesota. I can't say enough about this dude. He works in the film production industry, has for years. He is the man, one of the men behind Magical Dream Productions. So I'll let him just touch base on himself a little bit briefly, and then we'll touch on events in a little bit as well.
Yeah, thank you. You made me drop my joint. I was so flattered by all your comments, man. I was over here getting stoned. Nice to meet you, Joe.
Hey, nice to meet you too, brother.
I've been listening to you guys talk here for the past 20 minutes or so. Great stuff. Great stuff. I'm an autoflower guy too myself. So, but no, I've been hitting the boys up for a while. I didn't even know Frostbud and me. We went to high school together, oddly enough, and small world. Just kind of reconnected
Absolutely, dude.
through Shoup. I was hitting them up, and I was like, these guys are doing some awesome shit, man. Like they're throwing events, but they're not doing it to line their pockets. They're doing it to help the community out and defy the stigma of cannabis and show people that we're not a bunch of losers. Like I run marathons, man, and I smoke all day long. Like cannabis doesn't make you lazy. Cannabis doesn't make you a loser. Cannabis is a great plant that helps people all over the world. And I saw what Frostbud and Shoup and all these guys were doing, and I was like, I got to be a part of it. I've been an event promoter, and I've been a film and production director for the past 7 years. I got films playing on Amazon, on Apple TV, on Tubi. Check out The Hand That Feeds. That one's out there right now that I directed. So when they said specifically we're going to do a Haunted Hayride festival, I was like, oh shit, this is it, man. Let's join up. Let's make this happen, and I'm going to make some really scary shit.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm so excited, dude. You send me some of the images that your makeup artist has done. Shout out to that dude. Dude, I
Shout
do
out
not
Dr.
want to run
Gore.
across any of them folks in the woods. I will be scared shitless, I tell you what.
And what I did too is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it more of an interactive, like a play almost throughout the hayride. It's going to be called The Death of Prohibition, and it's basically a story of Mary Jane being chased down by the Prohibition demons.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm diving deep, and it's going to be a lot of film people that are involved. So it's going to be like a really one of a kind kind of hayride that you're not going to get anywhere else. And the best part is there's no hay that's going to be on the hayride, so you can smoke and stay blazed, and we're not going to
Amen,
have any
dude.
fires. So that's one of the great parts. But I mean, Frostbite, you can tell more about the event, man. I'm super psyched. I've been going all day on it.
Absolutely. So I'll just cover a couple quick details, and then we'll let Joe get back to talking growing. Sorry, Joe. I apologize, sir. So there'll be a costume contest up there. There will be a pumpkin carving contest. There will be a grow cup that will be sponsored by a larger entity, and there will potentially be a cash prize for the grow cup. There's a lot of awesome things. We're gonna have infused apple cider and cocoa. There will be fire barrels throughout the property. There will be a large bonfire in the central location where people are hanging out. We'll be cooking s'mores. I feel like I'm missing a couple things, dude, but there's going to be food trucks up there. There's going to be 25 to 50 different vendors, merchandise vendors, cannabis vendors, you name it. They're going to be there. Um, this thing is going to be freaking epic, dude. I can't say enough about it. I'm working on an event page at the moment. We were waiting on a couple different things to get that put together. And really, this thing really just came into fruition in the past, I would say, week again. We talked about it previously, and it kind of fell off the burner because we have a lot going on currently. And then it got brought to my attention again, and we just rolled the dice, dude. We're going to do it. It's going to be awesome as shit. It's probably going to be our biggest, coolest event of the year. So if you've been to any of our events, they're pretty cool. We try to emphasize on community. So make sure you try to get out to the Haunted Hayride HarvestFest. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, and also go check out the Southern Aces run, which I'm sure you're going to talk about. That's another thing. These guys are doing so many events. I'm super stoked to jump in and kind of help them out with this one, take some of the weight off of, the hayride side. Working with Scott, who I think was on earlier, super cool dude. We're gonna make this thing great. Really. So just think about it like this: like everybody loves going to the apple orchard. Everybody loves going to the fall festivals. Now you get to go to the fall festival where they're giving away a bunch of goodies and you can smoke all the cannabis you want and you get the apple cider and it's going to get you stoned, and you can have it without that too. That's the option. Like, you just come out and you have a good
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. If you don't smoke, dude, and you just care about community, come on out.
Fuck yeah.
You're more than welcome, dude. And I just want to emphasize on this one. Everything that we do has a food drive that goes with it. So if you bring non-perishable items, we give you tickets to our giveaways. Like I was telling Joe, we did 150 giveaways up at Weed Fest, so you're bound to win something.
That's
Um,
awesome.
as well, we are carrying the Christmas Compassion over from Southern Ace Run into the Harvest Festival. Again, folks, there's so many families in the world that are struggling, man. I can't say it enough. Everything goes up every goddamn day, but you know what doesn't go up is my paycheck ever, it seems. So
I feel that.
there's so many folks that can't afford to get gifts for their children this Christmas, guys. So let's do everything in our power to make sure we get out to the store. Next time you're at the store, dude, grab a couple extra toys. They don't need to be $30, dude. Spend $5, spend $10 on a couple toys for a child, man. I would be devastated if I was a parent that wasn't able to give my child Christmas presents on Christmas morning, dude. So
Dude,
do what
absolutely.
you can, dude. Support the community, support one another. Much love, everybody. We're gonna touch on Southern Ace in a little bit. I want to let Joe get back to talking grow.
All right, man. Well, first of all, I want to
I'm gonna hop off,
give
guys.
you.
See you later.
Hey,
Much love, dude.
congratulations, by the way, brother. You're doing big things. Keep it
Hey,
up.
you too, Joe. Very nice to meet you, man. We should
If
definitely
you
connect.
wanna hang out, brother, feel free. Otherwise, if you wanna hop back in later, you
For
can. You're
sure.
more than welcome
I mean,
anytime.
I'll stay for the joint. I like to talk growing. You
Let's do
won't
it,
kick
dude.
me out that easy. But no, I do want to
Um,
say one more thing on what you said before I shut my mouth and let Joe talk. This is everybody, any vendor, any sponsor, anyone who comes out to this, you're doing this for a good thing. And that is, you should feel good about that. And we're doing it for this plant.
For sure, man. That's awesome.
Amen, dude. Can't say enough about all the sponsors, all the followers, all the supporters, all the viewers. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. Floor's
Man.
yours, Joe.
All right, Minnesota, you just heard it from the man himself. You guys got to get out there. Make sure you guys are donating. Donate stuff to this cause. It's for a good cause. Get out there and support the community. They need you more than ever. So jumping back into it, man, like I said, I really do appreciate you having me on. It's just
Absolutely.
been a wild ride, man. There's so many people just to give shout outs to. Like I said, I started my podcast from seed to smoke and have had just tremendous success with it. I just actually had the breeder and founder of Elevate Seeds. His name's Matt. He's my sponsor. He just did an episode with me. So it's like really cool, man, to have a big name like him jump on my episode is just absolutely awesome. And then like same thing, I've been meeting new breeders. Shout out to Troy. He's a tester. A lot of breeders been giving him products and sending them his way. That way he can test them for them. John Payne, super old school grower. He's got a remarkable story. Just all kinds of good people that I've met throughout this journey, man. It's just been remarkable.
Absolutely, dude. I couldn't agree more, dude. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole here, but
Right.
shout out to everybody in the world, dude. We love you.
Yeah, shout out, guys. So, going back into my growing, I mainly focus on indoor growing, guys. That's what I love to do. It's just easier to take care of them and just make sure you're with them every day and keeping that schedule. I did start focusing a little bit on the outdoor grow cycles. And yeah, man, I mean, my plants aren't as big as Deca's, but at the same time, I mean, I think they're doing pretty good. I'm happy with them. They're healthy and they should reward me in the end. When I first started growing, I thought, I'm going to be kind of guerrilla style. I would start out with my buddy Devin gave me some seeds from Seedsman. I started growing, what was it called? I can't even think of the name of it right now. But, Badass OG Cheese by Seedsman. I grew that. Hermaphrodited on me, so I wasn't going to quit there. And then I'm like, I got to bring this shit inside. I got to do something here that's going to just blow it up and be awesome. So I started out with White OG, Blue Dream, all kinds of different strains just to kind of figure out which ones that I was liking. But this indoor grow thing is it's like I said, it saved me. That's what it's done. And like I said, meeting people and them making me push, I'm getting feedback. They're giving me positive feedback, or they're even telling me, hey man, your music's too loud in the background of your videos. And so it's really awesome that people aren't afraid to come out and say, dude, you need to do this better and you could do that better. I appreciate that. I accept that all day. So thank you guys for doing that with me. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I just want to be able to help people, and I want to be able to make sure people have a place where they feel like, we don't judge them. That's all. The growing
Absolutely.
thing, like I said, I like to veg my plants for a really long time. I'll veg them out for 11 months if I have to. Does I'm not afraid them being in fabric pots. I figure those roots are getting the oxygen. I'm hitting them with the Great White Myco and just making sure that these plants need everything, or they're getting everything that they need.
So let me ask you this quick. I don't mean to cut you off. You say you grow in fabric pots. Do you? I only assume you're transplanting them as they are growing up, right? Or are you just growing them in 7 gallons and leaving them, or what are you doing
I
exactly?
This last run, I just started them off in 3 gallons. I switched them over to 7 gallons, and that was their forever home. But before that, I was just throwing them in 20-gallon fabric pots, buying a shit ton of soil, and just letting them ride right from there, and just letting those roots do their thing. Super
Okay.
strong plants. Even when they were flowering and they were getting really heavy, I wasn't really too worried about the plants falling over, because that root structure that they got inside their homes was plenty. It just, I don't know. It's really wild. It's really fun. It's fun to experiment too. I actually, one of my last grows too. One of these strains that nobody knows the name. These were gifted seeds. You can hear the story on my channel. But we got these seeds. They were from California, so we started calling them Cali. Beautiful plant. I actually grew her out of a Halloween plastic skull. I think he would like that one, out of the
Hell
skull.
yeah, dude.
It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. I'm going to try to get into some bonsai growing. I thought that would be really cool too, showing the roots. But I mean, I try to keep it simple enough for people to understand, but at the same time, I try to challenge myself and always try to like up myself just a little bit every single time.
Hell yeah, dude. And that's the goal, right? We're always growing, whether in the garden or in everyday life, dude. Every
Yes,
challenge
sir.
that we approach
That's
is growth,
that's the
right?
mission right there. That's the mission statement.
That's it.
Are you? I'm a little late to the party. Are you growing from clone, or are you growing from seed?
I'm growing from seed. I'm
Okay,
growing
so
from seed. And don't get me wrong, I clone my plants too. I got buddies that are growers, so I'll hook them up, and that way they can do their thing with them. But I like to grow from seed. I've grown from clone in the past, but there's something about just being there in the beginning and just watching that time progression and just seeing, everything this plant goes through and just caring for it and loving that plant.
Hell
it's
yeah,
the
dude.
friend Stefan described it as it's the divine feminine energy,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I took that to heart. So I kind of branded the girl dad thing that you see up there, because every time I go check on my plants, I'm like, I feel like I'm a proud girl dad. You know what I mean?
That's badass, dude. I love it.
Right. Yep, my dog comes down all the time, down into the grow room with me, and I'm like, "Come on, Gemma, let's go check on the babies. Let's go." And so she knows.
That's what I think it takes. I think that's when people are like trying to figure out how to grow. I think one thing that a lot of people don't, they love the science, they love all of that, but they forget that you need to love your plants. I think really I name all my plants, man. I have a connection with each one, and I'm checking every day to make sure there's no mites. I'm checking every day to make sure there's no IPM constantly, and that's kind of where I found success as someone who's only been growing for a couple of years.
Right. And even going back like off topic of cannabis plants, my wife, and I'm sure you guys know it, but there's a craze right now with house plants in general. Women are going absolutely crazy and putting plants all over their house. My wife does it. And just to see how she's caring for her plants, it's like incredible, man. It's very cool to see like all the different styles of plants there are.
Absolutely, dude. And gardening is very relaxing, right? Whether outdoors or indoors, dude. It's one of the most relaxing things that I find in life. So,
Oh
more
yeah.
time I can spend in the garden, the happier I am, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely therapeutic.
Honestly, like my favorite thing to do is go out in the morning, smoke a joint, put on a good tune, and water the plants. Like that's a good fucking morning for me, man. I'm stoked on
That's
the rest of the day after that.
right. You got me outside, and I'm kind of close to an airport, so you get airplanes going over, and I'm freaking out. But it is what it is. So it's all
Hell
good,
yeah,
man.
dude.
It's really nice to be out there in nature and just being in that moment and just living life, man. That's what it's about.
So let me ask you this. You've talked about vegging your plants out a bit. You've talked about a little bit of flour, not too much, but what are your techniques for harvesting specifically?
So okay, so there's so many different techniques out there. What I like to do is I like to do a nice big defoliation before I even go into flower. I like to
Okay.
let my plants at least sit about a week to a week and a half, and then I'll jump into my flowering. I'll start babying them. I'm keeping an eye on them, just watching them. I start my feeding about a week before I go into flower. This last one I was using, I got it written down here, is Royal Gold by Crown Jewel. That is the Bloom 142. I was using that. Um, I would top feed it, start watering in. That way, when it went into its new light schedule, when I flipped to 12-12, that it was already starting to eat. Um, I can't remember exactly, but once I get going into those, it's just every 2 weeks, and then sometimes I push it too. Like I like my girls to eat. I know a lot of people will actually tie up their plants so their plants aren't leaning over. I've always heard too, like if you play video games and all you do is sit on the couch all day and eat food, you get fat, right? You're not burning any energy. When we're standing, we're actually burning energy.
Yep.
So what I've kind of experimented with was saying like my plants are standing like this, okay? They're burning energy. So I just kind of let them do their thing, fall over naturally, and they get fatter. Like they just it's almost it's true. It's there's a
Hell yeah,
science
dude.
behind it. So that's just something I've learned, and I go through. It depends. Some plants, like you said, autoflower is not really my thing. But when we're flowering, some plants go 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, all the way up 12 weeks. I've even heard of plants going longer. Um, but then uh, I experimented with the 48 hours of darkness. I kind of got away from that thing. And then when it's chop time, I go ahead, I chop them. I make sure that my drying area is clean, it's pest free, all that good jazz. And I make sure I do a slow dry. I try to at least go like 12 to 16, 18 days, somewhere in that range, just
Okay.
to where about when you're taking your branches and you can feel them a little bit like, okay, they're about to snap right there is probably good. And then I hand trim everything. I hate trim gel. It sucks so bad. My wife will tell you the same thing. I'm like, hey, we got to trim another plant. And and then so since I'm vegging them so long and I'm getting these big yields from them, it's just, yeah, it's just crazy.
Right, right, right. How do you so I know a lot of people struggle to get that, I think you said upwards of what, 18-day dry or 12 days was it?
Yeah, we try to at least do 12 days for sure. 18
Okay.
might be a little bit pushing it, but just try to make sure you got your humidity in check, you got your
Yep.
temperature in check, and you got everything dialed in. And same thing throughout the grow. Try to make sure it's dialed in. Sometimes it's harder because in the basement, you got the furnace down here and you got, the central air running outside. The basement gets cold. So the lights do kind of keep your temperature right where you want them. The humidity's actually been perfect. Um, a couple grows ago, we did one at a buddy's, and his basement was like the ideal. You didn't have to have any water going, nothing. It was just the ideal condition at all times. It was crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people struggle with finding that 60/60, and even myself, dude, I was using a portable AC unit, right? And it just couldn't keep up, dude. It would freeze up, and I'd have to shut it down, and then I'd never get back down to that 60 degrees without fighting hard, you know?
Yeah. So, and like I said, my uncle was a grower, and he he used the old bulbs. I went to LED. My wife's dad, he used to be a grower, and he always talked shit, saying you can't get those yields, out of those LEDs. Like, if you do it right, you can get yields. You got to make sure that you're getting enough watts, and you're trying to get 1.5, 2.5, 1.5 to 2 grams per watt. You want to just push those things out. And so, he's the one that kind of got me into overfeeding them. And I kind of wanted to prove a point, like, hey, man, come check this out. But,
Adam Olson asks, do you dry your full plant, or do you dry it in sections or branches, or how do you do it?
So good call out, Adam. Actually, I do section it. I like to cut it up in at least 3-4 pieces. Sometimes I will cut them up into small little branches. But at the same time, when you start cutting into your plant like that, it's going to start to dry out a lot faster. But at the same time, you got to watch it, because if you do a full plant, then you could run into mold and all that. So you need to make sure that, just like I said, your conditions are right, and you're just... You'll know if you're running into a problem. You're going to know right away, because if you're drying too fast, you're going to open up your tent one day and go, damn, it smells like hay in here. You know, it's like, you don't want that hay smell. Yeah, you can cure. People will say the smell don't come back. I like to cure in jars. But that smell will come back. Don't get me wrong. I've ran into the hay smell myself. But if you really take your time and don't think about it, you started from seed or clone, and you vegged for so long and flowered. You put all that time and effort into it. Why would you want to rush through your drying process?
So that's the most crucial, important part.
It's so crucial. So make sure your drying is just on point right there. Throw them in the jars for a month, 2 months, whatever, and you'll be happy. I'm telling you, you'll be happy.
Quickly here, I want to jump back to the beginning. You said that you were a second or third generation grower. I thought you said your family had been growing for some time. So let me see here. How did you get into growing and your passion for plants?
Okay, so growing up, my dad's mom, my grandma, she always had a green thumb. She had her outdoor plants. So my grandpa was born and raised. He had 17 brothers and sisters, believe it or not.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, dude. They were falling out of my great grandma. So anyways, 17 brothers and sisters. To this day, there's only one left. But my grandma, they had a big house. Their house had 3 living rooms in it. I think they had like 17 couches in it. And I'm not saying, I come from a rich family. No, my grandpa, he was just the one to actually do something with his life and make it. But my grandma always had plants. Her garden was always on point. Okay, so later in life, I find out, my mom's telling me, she goes, you heard my mom's dad, that he was a grower. And I'm like, oh, really? Because I didn't really know that grandpa too much. Well, apparently, dude. I remember his old house. Like, I'm talking like I'm 4 or 5 years old, but I can still remember it to this day. He had this big barn out back, and apparently he was growing Acapulco gold. Okay. And everybody was running it for him back in the day. They were doing their thing. And so my grandpa started out growing. Then later on in life, my uncle one time, because I'm also a licensed barber. So I go over to my uncle's house, cut his hair, and he goes, I want to show you something. And I kind of was like, did he smoke before he came in? I know that don't really smell like smoke. That smells like something fresh, right? So I got to show you something. And he bared it all to me. He showed me everything. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know, you knew how to do this. And then he started telling me the story about his dad, my grandpa. And my uncle, we always had this plan, because he was doing the dirty, and he always told me, if this ever happens, you got to come take this apart, do this and that. Well, my uncle ended up, when I started growing, I started showing my uncle pictures of, my plants. And he's like, you did this? You did that? Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I'm like, well, yeah, if you quit being like that old dog, you can't teach new tricks. He keeps growing the same damn lemon strain for the last
right.
I'm like, dude, you gotta expand. But anyway, so he was like, well, you just won't get it from me. I'm like, no, I'll still get it from you, yada, 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 make him feel good. But he said he was proud of me and I was doing a great job. Well, then it got to be about 6-7 months later. He just out of nowhere got sick, like bad. It was bad. And my mom was like, he's not doing good. And I'm not a hospital guy. I didn't go up there. I feel bad about it because I didn't go up to the hospital to see him. But I'd go over there and make sure his dog had water and food. And, of course, he was done at that time growing, which this goes into a whole nother point. But anyways, my mom gave me a call and she's like, hospice is coming over, they're going to make him feel comfortable. He's going to try to make it home. So when I knew hospice was coming over and I knew what my uncle was doing illegally, I would go over there and I started gutting out his whole room. Right.
Right.
So I'm making trips back and forth to the truck, setting stuff up in the living room, just trying to get this shit out of there as fast as possible before somebody shows up. Anyways, his daughter walks in and I'm like, oh crap, busted. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we got to get this stuff out of here right now because we don't need anybody knowing, what your dad was doing. And she goes, I agree. And I said, well, I'm not taking this. I'm just getting it out of the way for now. But she did tell me, she was like, he would want you to have it. And I'm like, I don't need this shit. I already got my stuff. I'm like, give it to somebody. So today that stuff is still sitting in my shed unused and it's just there. And it's almost like I don't want to get rid of it now because it's kind of a memory of him.
It is, but, dude.
It's just crazy. So then about a year after he died, I'm over at my grandma's with my wife and my mom's over there. And so my grandma, she had a stroke on Halloween, like years ago. Anyway, she's had this car parked in her garage forever. It's like, like 7 years sitting in that garage, never ran. And we started talking and my mom's like, hey, I think your uncle left a plant in the trunk of that car. Like he did say like right before he got really sick that I was going to go get an ounce. And he said, I still got to trim it. So I'm like, let me get the keys to this car. I go out there and holy hell, he had like 4 plants all chopped up in the back of that car. Right?
Holy Jesus, dude.
So my grandma's like, let's smoke it. I'm like, you can't smoke that stuff. You've had mice in and out of this car and shit, like animals living in here. So I did. I took it outside. I took it home and I trimmed up a nice sized mason jar and I saved some of his last buds. And I want to make a rolling tray with them and put them inside of it.
But that'd be super dope, dude.
Dude, I think it'd be super dope. Actually, we cremated him. I got his ashes right over here, and he's with me every grow, like the whole way.
Hell yeah, dude. So I'd like to add, if you can see the background in my screen, so like my walls are literally lined with what I call memory lane, right? Everything cool that I've done. Little mementos from different relationships I've built over the year. There's obituaries on the wall from friends I've lost. Very similar to what you're talking about. And as for the hospital thing, I wanted to touch on that, but I didn't want to cut you off. I don't like hospitals either, dude. I think there's a lot of folks in the world that do not go to hospitals unless they're basically in need of emergency care. Alicia Taylor, shout out to you, girl. She says I'm not a hospital person either. And while I'm speaking of the Taylors, Scott is in the background. He's unable to get his camera or his microphone to work, so he is in the lobby just watching the show. He is here to support us, but yeah, like I said, he's unable to get his microphone to work properly, so unfortunately he is not able to join us and conversate, sadly. So
yeah, man. So how long have you been growing, brother?
So I basically started growing when it became legal in Minnesota, shortly I guess before. So I've been growing for probably about 16 to 18 months.
Okay.
I've had let me see, 3 or 4 complete grows. 2 of them went to shit at the end. That was my most recent Northern Lights and Sour Diesel. We were hoping they were going to produce like almost a pound each, dude. The fuckers were huge. And then we got into flushing at the end of the whole cycle. And I think that's where we went wrong, dude. They weren't getting any nutrients anymore. We were doing just flushing, and it turned into fucking larf, dude. They went from nice, dense buds to just larf.
Yeah, one of my last grows, I didn't do any lollipopping in it, so I had a lot of larf down there at the bottom. Same thing when I got into flushing. I just think that it was running out of nutrients, and I mean, it looked decent at first, and then once you got trimming, you're like, this is junk. But I mean, at the same time, it all worked out.
Right. Yeah, we tried to salvage, I guess, what we could. You don't even want to know, dude. It was so sad. It was less than, and it took so much trimming, dude. Like, it was trimming shit down to, there was nothing fucking left. I threw the shit in the garbage, you know? But we had like an ounce of each strain, and we were expecting fucking 16. We got one, dude.
Yep.
It was so depressing, but nonetheless, it was a lesson learned, and we do things differently now.
Yeah, man. So touching back on that last grow I did, I ended up with that. It was funny because we were actually driving out to Florida the next morning, and you know, I'm a first shift guy, and so I told my wife, I said, let me do the driving at night. So I ended up staying up all night. I timed out everything perfect to where like these plants would be ready to just go ahead and start chopping into them, trimming them up. And I sat there all night, and I was so pissed off. I was just like, man, I thought this was going to be better. What a waste of time. But
Yep.
Hey, you're going to run into that problem, and it's a lesson you learn. So now you know next time, don't do that.
Absolutely, dude. I couldn't tell you how depressing it was when we lived through that ordeal, and it wasn't even. I was a partner of mine. I was growing up at his place, and it was definitely an uncomfortable conversation to have. You know, I know that he was very upset about it as much as I was upset, and you know, it's a lesson learned, dude. All you can do is learn and move forward, right?
Yep. And actually, I was talking to my sister earlier today. I made like a little gift thing, and sent her a picture of my Kongzilla plant with the tombstone. It said "Rest in peace" and all that. And she's like, "Oh no, what happened?" She's like, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "No, I'd be pissed off if the plant just died on me. I had to chop it. I'm sad because I like got to know this plant on a personal level."
Amen, dude. Every one of our plants is like a child, right? We grow to
Yep.
love that thing. We nurture it. We care for it.
So it's funny because my wife will come downstairs and she'll be, like smoking a blunt or something, and I'm like, "You can't smoke that in here. That's cannibalism." No
Hell
lie,
yeah.
brother.
I want to do a couple quick shout outs. King's Plant Service. He says he could have turned that larf into decent nugs. He does plant processing here in Minnesota. So he's
Nice.
got a bucker. He's got all the fancy equipment to kind of automate the process. If you're not into trimming your plants by hand, absolutely reach out to King's Plant Service. Awesome people over there. We do have a first time viewer tonight. I'm gonna try to not butcher your name here, bud. It looks like it's a Boba Van Van Goss. Boba Van Goss. Shout out to you, dude. I probably butchered your name. I apologize. We love you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I quickly as well want to give a shout out to Jason Borg. Thanks for joining us, brother. I love you, dude. Not really love you, dude, but I love your presence at all of the events. I love all the support that you give us. Shout out to you. And then the last shout out that I have here goes to one sec here. It's Jenna Urazar, I believe. Jenna Urazar. Shout out to you. This girl, she made a post on her Instagram. Basically, I was trying to get some people over to the Instagram account, which I created not too long ago. And she's a saint, dude. She went out and made her own post, and she was like, check out what these folks are doing over in the canna community in Minnesota. Make sure you give them a follow, a holler. So shout out to you, girl. And on top of that, she sent a giveaway item to the 112th follower over on Instagram without even anybody asking. So I appreciate you. Much love. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep crushing it. Back to Grow Talks.
Yeah, man. So, Jenna, just so you guys know, if in case anybody missed it, I'm from the Chicago area, kind of the suburb area. I'm not going to get into too detail because a lot of people do know me, but I try to keep that part private. But yeah, Chicago area. Yeah, man. Shout out for you donating and doing that for Minnesota Grow Talk. That's awesome. I'm not going to jump on here and say, hey, come subscribe to my channel. But if you guys find it in your heart to subscribe to my channel, I would, honest to God, that would mean the world to me. I would really appreciate it.
Absolutely, folks. Make sure you get over and check this guy's page out, dude. He's awesome shit. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you got comments on the YouTube that you got questions, a comment, anything, make sure you get in there and
Yep, right there.
get some.
Yeah, man. So jumping back into it, like the curing process, I mean, if you're getting mad amount, I know a lot of people use Grove bags. They use mason jars. That's kind of like the big debate. I'm old school. I like the mason jar thing. I did use Grove bags last time, and that actually worked really well while I was on vacation, just because, like I told you, I was leaving that next morning to drive down to Florida. So, I mean, you guys know how long, Florida from you guys, I mean, that's like what, like 30 hours? So, driving down to Florida, what I did on vacation with family is I just put it all in Grove bags and it was able to cure. And I didn't really have any issues that I ran into. Everything was good to go when I got back home. I was having people kind of bust my chops, like, why'd you heat seal it? Well, if you read it, it says heat seal it on it. And so, I cut it open all goofy, but got back home, threw it in a jar, and I just kept curing it that way. Burp the jar every day, give it like 10, 15 minutes of air, shake them up real good, burp the jar. That's kind of what I do.
Hell yeah, dude. That's next to my religion. Jars and burping religiously. I think it's 3 times a day for the first week, and then I think it gets down to like two
Yeah.
times a day for the second week, and then I don't know the exact arithmetic, but there's definitely a process to it, and if you follow it, it usually turns out pretty decent.
So for new growers, if you don't know what curing is, think about it like if you break your leg or you break your arm, you go to the doctor and they put your arm in a cast, right? That bone is actually curing. And you've always heard growing up, like that bone always grows back twice or 3 times stronger. It's always going to be stronger than your other bone, your other arm. So that's what curing does is you got to, chop your plant. That's the surgery. So then once you put them in the cure, let them rest, let them do what they got to do, and they're good to go. It's super simple.
Right.
So, yeah, man. So yeah, we're live on my YouTube channel too right now. So what's up, everybody? Yeah, man, I really appreciate you guys putting me on an episode tonight. Like I said, or you said that we've been kind of playing cat and mouse trying to figure out these schedules. It's absolutely crazy because just as well as I know, this has turned into a full-time job. Like hands down, this is a job.
It absolutely is, dude. And yeah, so this is I don't get paid from this job, folks. Just so everybody's aware, everything we do is volunteer work, and if it ain't volunteer, then we're voluntold by Papa Shoup. So
we're voluntold. I'm just an average Joe. That's it.
Right. So I did just post a link to Joe's YouTube channel in the comments here. Make sure you guys get over there, like, subscribe, check that dude out. Awesome dude. Can't say enough. I got a couple other things I want to touch on here. Just some questions, basically. So I want to cover on like best practices for beginners. What do you think personally is the best approach for a new grower, right? That doesn't have $1,000 to go drop on all the fancy technology. He has a basic tent and a basic light. What are your recommendations growing synthetically, organically, etc.?
Okay, so first of all, when you get into growing, obviously you're starting out. Just say you're starting from scratch. You got to buy a light. You got to figure out a space. First of all, you want to figure out your space and figure out that area. How big of an area? How many plants are you going to grow? I would suggest 2 or 3 just to start out because you do not want to overwhelm yourself. Once you figure out that grow space, now you got to get yourself a light. So go on Amazon, whatever it may be, get you a little cheap budget light just to get you through that whole step. I would not start with auto flowers as a new grower because auto flowers are super finicky. Go with photo period. That way you can tell that plant, hey, it's time to flower. You can flip it. So just make sure your grow area is always clean. If you're outside and you have a garden, change your clothes before you go back downstairs. Like you got to think of it because you're going to bring pests in. So document every little thing you're doing. Start out small. Do like a 5-gallon fabric pot. A lot of growers will do, your containers, fabric pots. As your roots grow, those fabric pots will snip those roots and prevent them from getting root bound. So that's another thing to know. Just go in there, make sure that you get yourself a cheap light. I have a couple Viper Spectras that they're the green lights. You can find those on Amazon. Those have worked wonders for me. I got a 6-foot plant in there right now under one. So, I mean, they do work. And then when it goes into flowering for a bigger plant like that, obviously I have a bigger light, but those will help. They'll work. If they got a dial switch on them, a dimmer, just use it. Just get yourself going. And then get on a watering schedule. Don't overwater. If your plant is going to tell you what it needs. When you see your leaves drooping down, that means you're possibly overwatering, or maybe it needs more water. Take your finger. If the soil's in there, feel down in that soil. If you feel that's damp, leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Okay?
Right.
So, and if you start overwatering, you're going to run into issues right away. So just make sure that you're not overwatering. You're giving your light distance, the right amount of light distance in between, your plant and the light. And then just make sure your temperature and your humidity is dialed in. Make sure your pH in your water. I like to use a 6.3 when I'm doing a pH. I'll be doing a video on that one. If you're interested, check out the channel, man. I'll be doing a video on that. But just make sure that you got things set up. Like I said, document this stuff, and your plant is going to take care of you. Don't try to veg out your plant forever. Just push it out a couple weeks. Even if you don't want to top your plant to start out, just let your plant do its thing. Make sure it's healthy, that you're getting a correct feeding schedule. Don't feed it, every 2 weeks AM and then flip it into PM. Try to just get into a schedule of what you're doing. Same with the water. Don't, just get into a schedule. It's going to help you out. And it's the most expensive part of growing is getting started. That is it. And then you can reuse soil if you do it right. But as a new grower, I would suggest maybe get you something that's just gonna get you new soil. Use Mother Earth terra grass, something like that. Try to stick away from. I'm trying to think of the name, but it'll burn it up. Sohums. It's a really good soil, not good for seeds. But actually, if you guys, if you are new to growing, you guys right here behind me, Grow Peaceful. Check those guys out. We're sponsored by them. They have grow buckets. You get an auto flower seed with your grow bucket. I want to say it's like $60-$70 for it. You get that. All you have to do is water it. So it's a great way for beginning people to jump into it and grow it. Like I said, auto flowers are finicky, but at the same time, it's made simple. All you got to do is water it. Just make sure you take care of your plant. Make sure the leaves are up praying, and your plant is going to take care of you. I promise. But yeah, you're going to run into issues too as long as you're doing it. So just work your way through them, and then, join Facebook groups, look at your plant and say, hey, this is what I'm running into. Just don't send a picture of a yellow leaf. Say, hey, my leaf's yellow. Get into detail. This is what I'm finding. That's the lower half of the plant. It's the middle half. It's up high. You know what I mean? It's throughout. Get into detail, because people are going to be able to help you better. And that's another reason why I started doing this, is because I would go on Facebook groups and you always see it like, hey, is this ready to harvest? Is this ready to harvest? And you would get like 4 or 5 people to leave a dick comment in there like, hey, you should know this. You should know. It might be their first time. So like I said, as a community, we need to be tight together, and we need to care for each other and look out for each other. So,
amen, dude. I don't want to cut you off. I want to apologize. My son wants to be on Minnesota Grow Talks, and I told him he cannot be on there until he's 18.
Right on.
Like Minnesota Micro Farmer said, dude, he started with less than a $500 setup. He ran 2 autos and ended up with 15 ounces. So there's a lot of good info that even Joe's Grows is giving us. Keep it basic, don't overthink it. Don't make any quick, drastic changes, make your changes small and minute, and it should all work out. Shout out to Nancy Wallace. She said she started with shop lights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's people that grow with very minimal equipment, etc. Temp, relative humidity, pH are important factors. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And actually, my last grow cycle, I ran into a problem with my tent, to where my timer, the plug-in was actually behind the tent. And on my timer, you have to pull those little knobs out, when you're setting it to 12-12 flower. I go down there, I'm like, why isn't this light on? Why isn't this light on? And then I go upstairs, come back down, like 30 minutes later, be back on. I actually pushed my tent back into that timer, and it jacked it all up around it. So I was like, oh my God, dude. So now I'm like, okay, that's never going to happen again. That was just a user error. So just really pay attention to what you're doing. Do not rush the process. Take your time and make sure you're good. That's it.
Absolutely. And I wanted to touch quickly on the groups. There is a lot of negativity in the world. And like Joe was saying, hop in some of them private groups. The Iron Range Cannabis Growers Association is one that comes to mind. The Bud Barn out of Minnesota. Those are all local people. They're all there to support everybody within the community. If you got a question, uh, hop in the Minnesota Grow Talks chat on Facebook. Hop in the Bud Barn chat. We're all here to help you guys. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We're all trying to achieve the same goal at the end of the day, and that's to grow the best cannabis we possibly can.
Man, shout out to Bo Moser. I just read that cheap lights on average almost a pound with autos. I don't know how you do it, brother. I've never had any luck. This the first time I tried autos, my plants were legit like 12 inches tall.
Dude,
Best smoke I've ever had, hands down. But I'm like, well, damn, I got like an eighth off of this plant. I'm never doing that again. Like,
I got one that blueberry I was just talking to you about. I think there's no more than an ounce, dude. Geared. You know.
yeah, like
So,
legit.
shout
I
out.
probably had a half ounce.
Okay, so shout out to Bo Moser, dude. If you're getting a pound on autos, dude, with just a cheap light, you're crushing it, brother. Nancy Wallace says 585 grams on a Garley Locks auto. Holy shit, Nancy! Call the fire department. That shit is on fire.
Yep. That's crazy, man. That's crazy what these autos can do. It's just you got to find the right genetics. And then going back to that, beginning growing too, you got to find out what plants are, or what plants flower the longest, what ones eat. There's so many different things. So start out with something simple. It'll tell you right on their website when you go looking. It'll say, hey, this one's beginner friendly. That's probably the one that you should start with because it's beginner friendly. Not because you can't handle it, but this is just going to save you time and you're not going to get frustrated and get upset just because you run into all these problems.
Hell yeah, dude. Minnesota Micro Farmer said he's got some Seedsman Purple Punch F1. I was down at the Legacy Cup and got some ice cream cake. And then I
Nice.
got some Jack Herrera as well. So I'm excited to grow those out.
I wish you could see this good, dude. It's some gas right here, dude.
Hold it up again. I was gonna maximize your screen.
Man, I'm trying to get a light on it. Just don't do it justice. You guys check out
Put
my
your
channel.
hand behind it. Dank Nasty told me that. You gotta put your hand behind it.
I don't. Hold on a second. Here we go. Get that up there.
Shout out to Dank Nasty on his tip, dude. Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Dude, check out my video I'm dropping tomorrow. You get to see it. You won't believe your eyes. This right here, this camera is not giving it any justice.
And cameras never do give anything justice, dude. Every time I look at my plants, I'm like, they're beautiful. And then I take a picture and I'm like, they look like fucking shit. What the hell?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that was
man.
Robbie Shore. Nancy says Robbie Shore. He was the one that he won the grow off competition on her page with the Garley Locks. He finished out with, like I said before, it was 585 grams on a Garley Locks auto. That's crazy.
So Minnesota Micro Farmer just says Seedsman has a category just for beginners. So yeah, definitely. If you're new to growing, just check out the category, just like he said, and check it out because you're going to find all kinds of different strains, something that's going to just suit your needs. I mean,
hell yeah.
You can even find CBD plants too. It don't have to be a THC plant. So just find something that you're looking for. Find something easy to grow.
Shout out to 4 Green Tomatoes. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Thanks for joining us tonight. And quickly again, shout out to Jenna. I see you in the comments, lighting this place on fire, dude. Keep it up, girl. Much love. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Danny Green Marijuana. How you doing, brother? We see you out there too, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, dude. Give me an update on that car show, dude. I heard some details from some other folks within the community about a big car show in Minnesota. So I would like to be in attendance, absolutely, and support what you got going on. But we got to get some details, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be dope. Lift Cliff was telling me about that.
Yeah, I think he was the one that initially, I think he was the one that was hosting it, or he's collaborating with some folks. We were gonna partner with him initially, but I think they've at this point gone in a different direction, which is it's fine. Everybody's busy, dude. We all got families. I got a full-time job that I work on top of all this. So like, I apologize. And if there's folks out there that don't get a message from me every day saying have a great day, I apologize. I try to send out have a great day messages and just inspiring positive feedback for people when I have time, but just time doesn't always allow, and for that I apologize.
For sure. It gets super busy with the schedule. I get messages all the day and I forget about messaging people back. It gets hectic. I still have people that I've been trying to reach out that for my giveaway on my channel that we did. So, I mean, if any of you guys are watching this Grow Talks, you guys get a hold of me because I need to get your information to all the people that have donated. Otherwise, you're not going to get your stuff.
Right. Let me see here. One thing. So let me just quickly touch base. Blair, if you're watching and you want to hop back in here, dude, we're just gonna circle the bandwagon quick on Southern Aces run, and then I just want to touch base one more time on that Haunted Hayride event. We are gonna do a giveaway, folks. As you see on the bottom of the screen, giveaway time is just around the corner. Tonight we're gonna be hashtagging Joe's Grows for your chance to win some epic prizes. So yeah, in just a couple of minutes, I will make an announcement. We'll get this thing started, and we'll see who the winner is. I will have Joe announce a couple numbers at some point, and those are going to be the winners. So just give us a couple minutes, and we are going to touch base on events, and then we'll do the giveaway. Let me see here. Common mistakes and how to avoid them, Joe.
Man, so common mistakes going back to watering. Just don't overwater your plants. Make sure, like I said, put your finger down into the soil at least a half inch. Just kind of feel around. If it feels damp and moist, don't mess with it. Make sure your pH is on point. You definitely don't want to have a high pH, so you can always get, your meter and everything. You can get like a Blue Lab. That's expensive, but you could always get a cheap little meter online on Amazon. Make sure your pH is good because you definitely don't want to run into stuff like nutrient lockout. And just make sure your plants have exactly what they need. Just the little things. Don't overthink stuff. Just try to do your best.
So let me ask you this. Are you specifically using some sort of potassium supplement organically, or are you just using a one and all organic supplement?
I'm using just basically a one in all. I do like to use Dr. Earth. I use what is it here? Dr. Earth. I use the kelp meal. It's the 1-0.5-2, and then the veg Dr. Earth. That's the 463. I do like to use those. Those are kind of the cheaper brands. Obviously, you can go like big name brand too, but it will get the job done. So I haven't had any issues with it.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Nino Franklin. First time catching a live on Minnesota Grow Talks from Duluth, dude. We appreciate you being here. If you missed it, we're going to do a giveaway in just a little bit. Let's just get it going right now. So, folks, your job is to hashtag Joe's Grows. Joe, you got two numbers in your head? We got 22 viewers right now, so don't make it too low, and let's shoot for the moon on the second one.
Oh, so are we going through 1 through 22?
Let's go 1 through 35.
Okay,
People gotta work for this, dude. They can hashtag more than one time.
Okay.
So you let me know the numbers when you have them, and I will count them up, and we will announce winners.
Okay, so you want two numbers?
Correct. Between 1 and 35.
Okay, the first one is 30.
Okay.
And the next one's going to be 17.
All righty. So we got a 30 and we got a 17, folks. So get on there and hashtag Joe's Grows in the comments here, and we will see who the lucky winner is.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
Good luck. Thanks for all the support, dude. We can't say enough. We appreciate it. Much love from the bottom of our hearts. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You said 17 and 30, right?
Yep.
God, I hate this, dude. I gotta recount again. If you want to talk while I do this, you absolutely can, dude.
Well, I see my sister's on right now. She's rooting for me. So yeah, you got it, kid. Um, yeah, man. So like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on your channel. It's been a real honor. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do it again. If you are new to growing, feel free to check out my channel, chat with me. I always respond to my comments in my channels and my videos. Follow my channel for weekly videos. You'll get to see my podcast episode where we drop episodes every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And that way we just kind of get to network with the community and give a chance for people to promote themselves. So there's been a couple big names here that I've seen. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Let's jump on an episode and do something. If you guys watch my videos, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, you guys don't have to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, don't do it. But if you feel it in your heart, like, you know, you want to ride it out with Joe, let's do it, man. Let's grow together.
Absolutely, dude. So we do have our first winner. I apologize in advance if I butcher your name, dude. Everybody has such tricky names tonight. I don't know why. Anyway, the winner, number one, with the 17th hashtag Joe's Grows is Amir Afsharjavan. Amir Afsharjavan. I apologize. Send me a message at Frostbud Farms on Facebook. Otherwise, Instagram, Twitter, I'm all over. Send me a message on YouTube. We will definitely get your prize out to you. And it's going to be a surprise. I'm not even going to announce what we're giving away tonight. That's what's awesome about tonight.
That's
It's
what's
going to
up.
be 100% surprise. You will have no clue what's coming in the mail until it arrives. All right, so
Peace.
we got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, I'm going to go back here one time.
Good job, guys.
All
I
righty.
appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. So the second winner on tonight's Minnesota Grow Talk Season 2, Episode 11 with Joe's Grows is 4 green tomatoes, dude. Congratulations. Like I said earlier, I haven't seen you in here before, I don't believe. Welcome to Minnesota Grow Talks. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the support and everything we do. Send me a message. Send Joe a message. Send one of us a message, and we'll get your prize out in the mail here tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating in the giveaway, dude. We do this every week on Minnesota Grow Talks. We do 2 giveaways. And everything that we do, there's giveaways. So make sure you get out to one of our events. Up in the top left corner of the screen, if you scan the QR code there, that brings you right over to the link to Southern Aces Run. There's a ton of charity work that goes on with that one. We're working on having 25 vendors, a food truck down there. There's going to be a beginner level as well a professional level disc golf tournament with custom trophies being made by Matt Slime down in southern Minnesota. He makes disc golf trophies. I can't say enough about it, dude. I'm going to run out of breath, but the charities on that one are mental health awareness, suicide and harm prevention, Christmas compassion again, getting gifts for folks that just can't afford to get presents for their children. We got the local food drive down there that all of the proceeds food-wise go back to. And then the Faribault Area Animal Humane Society as well, folks. I don't know if anybody that's watching heard, but up at Wilderness Games, we collectively raised just shy of $5,000 that went back to the local community, Minnesota veterans, the Animal Humane Society, and then the local food shelf up in Benton County. So get down and check out Southern Ace Run, guys. I can't say enough about everybody in the community, all the sponsors, all of the volunteers, all of the team. Joe's Grows, dude. Everybody's crushing it. We appreciate everybody. Get out and check out what we got going on. And if you haven't heard yet, there is going to be a Haunted Hayride HarvestFest the 3rd week in October up on Scott Taylor's property. It's going to be off the chains, dude. There's a costume contest with a cash prize. There's a pumpkin carving contest. There's a Grow Cup challenge that will potentially have a cash prize. There's going to be s'mores. There's going to be fire barrels throughout the property to keep warm. Infused cider and infused hot cocoa, and then the hayride, which is going to be the most badass part of it. That event likely will run from somewhere around 4 p.m. until midnight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then there is talk of having a VIP vendor party Thursday evening. So if you guys are interested in vending out at the Harvest Fest or Southern Aces Run, they're both on private property. So we're all good to go there. Reach out to Shoup, Joe Mayer, or myself, and we can get you on the list, get you the contract, and we'll get it all sealed and dealed and dealt with so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Again, we appreciate you, and we're going to get back to Minnesota Grow Talks.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been a blast here. Lots of great comments on here. Looks like we've had a pretty busy night with a lot of comments going down, and I appreciate the questions. Like I said, feel free to reach out to me. Check out my channel, Joe's Grows. I'm on YouTube. I actually have a Facebook group. It's called From Seed to Smoke. Check those guys out. Kind of a cool group, man. We got a lot going on in there, all kinds of different growers and whatnot. But I think that's about it. All I got for you tonight.
Absolutely, dude. So again, closing out here, thank you for joining us tonight on Minnesota Grow Talk Season 2, Episode 11 with Joe's Grows. Joe, do you have, are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of those, all of those?
I'm just on Facebook and I'm on YouTube, man.
Okay, sweet. So folks, check out Joe's Grows on YouTube or Facebook. Dude is a wealth of knowledge, an open book. Like he said, if you ever have a question in regards to growing, don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. Reach out to Minnesota Grow Talks. Reach out to Ryan Shoup up at the Iron Range Cannabis Growers Association. There's folks all around the community, locally here to the metro, up north. No matter where you at, dude, there's always somebody to help you. Again, shout out to all of the supporters, the sponsors, the followers, the viewers. Without the audience, none of us would be anything. This Frostblood Farms journey would be nothing if it wasn't for the sponsors, the supporters, everybody involved. That's why I try to emphasize, or we try to emphasize on giving back so much. Because if it wasn't for everybody, we wouldn't have anything. So, again, thank you for joining us on Minnesota Grow Talks. Check out Southern Ace Run. Check out the Harvest Fest coming up in October. Everybody have a wonderful night, and we will see you again next week.
Hey, before I go, just remember one thing, bro.